Hey, what's going on guys? In this video we are going to see how to create a do-while loop. Now let's go ahead and see a general pattern of do-while loop. Now do-while loop should look like this. First we will have a do, and after that we will enter a quote. After we will have a curly bracket. Inside this curly bracket we will enter a quote. Okay, and then we close this one with the curly bracket, semicolon. And after that we close the curly bracket, and then we curly bracket, and then we will give while, and if the test, whatever the test we enter, like enter here, is true, it's going to run. This test is true, it's going to run. Okay, and that's the general pattern of a do-while loop. Now let's go ahead and see an example. Let's say we are going to calculate like test average. Previously we have seen some examples where we have 3 test marks and we calculated the average, but using do-while loop you can do it for many, like no matter how much test we enter, we can do it for multiple tests. Like it's go like you can do as much as many time you want, right? Now let's go ahead and see an example for that. Now here let's get rid of all these things and do it all over again. So first what I'm going to do, I'm going to let's type everything in terms of float, because if we combine float and integer it's going to confuse everything. So let's go ahead and introduce everything. I'm going to introduce everything in terms of float. So first I'm going to create a float variable, and in this I'm going to create a float variable for grades. Okay, grade, and let's set this one to 0. And second, I'm going to create a float type of variable for the score entered, because the user is going to enter a score. Based on that we are going to calculate the average. So in order to store the score entered, we are going to create another float variable, that is score entered, and I also set that one to 0. And then also we have to know the number of tests. Float number of tests, number of tests, and I set that one also to 0. And after that we are going to set a float for average, that one also to 0, and that's it. Now we are going to create another one, like if something is complete we have to know it's complete. So in order to create the complete, in order to create like for example, if we enter a certain number of score, we have to end somewhere, right? So in order to end this one, we are going to create 0 for that. So printf in the printf statement I'm going to put press 0 when complete. So the user is going to see this one and enter 0 if he is complete entering the numbers. And let's put 2 new line for that. And that's it for this one. Now we are like, this is the do while loop. So first let's start with do. Inside the do loop, first I'm going to enter printf statement. First we are going to show the user the test score and average in the screen, on the screen, before he enter his test score. So each time he enter and run the code, it's going to show the test results and average each time. So in order to do that, first I'm going to give a printf statement to show the test and average on the screen. Okay, so first tests, and here we introduced everything in terms of float. But if you think about this, test, number of tests cannot be like 0.5 tests or like 1.5. It cannot be decimal place, right? Because it's a full number. We can have 1 test, 2 tests, 3 tests. It has to go like that. But we should have introduced integer type of variable, but when we do with integer and float, it's going to confuse everything. But we can also make float an integer by doing this. If you put percentage, and if you remember, like if we want to print something in 2 decimal place or something like that, we put 0.2. But if it's 0 decimal place, we just put 0.0. So in that way, it acts similar to integer. Now if you put f for that 0.0f, it's going to be like it never prints 1.00 test. It's going to print just one test. Okay, and the next one is we have to print the average. So in order to print the average, we put average, and here we put percentage, and let's print average in 2 decimal places, so 0.2f, and for the new line I put a \n here, and that's it. Since we are printing number of tests and average, we have to type it here, number of tests, and also we have to print average, and that's it for this one. Now we have to create a prompt for the user to, so like we have to tell the user to enter something, right? So in that way user know what to enter. So in order to do that, we have to create a prompt. So I'm going to create a prompt right here. That's printf statement. In this printf statement, we ask the user to enter the score. So here we will enter the score, but this one should be inside the quote mark. Okay, here we will have enter test score, and leave a space, semicolon. It should be just 1. Okay, let's end it here. Now we are done with the prompt. The next step is we have to ask, we have to get the input from the user. In order to do that, we put a scanf statement. In this one, we get the float type of variable, so we put %f. We have to store this variable somewhere. Since we are getting the test score, we have created a score entered. This is the one we introduced to store the score. Okay, so here we had to type that one right here, but this is not an array. This is this is a variable, therefore we had to put an ampersand in front of it, and then we had to type the name score entered. Okay, right here. The next thing is we have to add the score each time when the do while loop run. So whenever the user run and do it again, it should add the grades. So we should create an equation for that. So grade plus equal score entered, and this is the first equation. And also each time when the do while loop run, we have to increase the number of tests, because each time the user entered the test score, it's going to represent number of tests. So each time the user enters score, it means it's increasing a test each time. So we have to increase the number of tests. To do the increment by 1, we put ++ right here, and that's it. Now we have to create an equation to calculate the average. Average is equal to grade divided by number of tests, and that's it for this one. And we have to exit somewhere, because in first one we said the user to enter 0 if it's complete, so we have to end the loop if it's 0. So in order to do that, we create a while loop. This is a do while loop. We create do, and after that we end it with while score entered. If it's not equal to 0, run, otherwise end it. So when the user enters 0, it's going to end this program. So here we put 0 for this one, and that's it. Now it should work. Now let's go ahead and run this program. Okay, here it's asking to enter the test score. So let's say 90, and now it's showing test 1 90 average, right? So let's put 65. So it's showing test 2 average is 77.50. So you can do it as many times as you want, like 69, then 90, 95, 97. So it's going to show you the average each time. So you can do this as many times as you want, and when you type 0, it's going to finish this program. So here it's saying program finished with exit code 0. And that's how we use a do while loop. I hope this helps. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to try these codes, it's in my Blogger. I put the Blogger in my description, so you can go there and get these codes. And also you can try my previous course. Everything is in my Blogger. I hope this helps. See you next time.